I want to take this opportunity to introduce our very last keynote of PyCon US 2025, Dr. Kari L. Jordan. She's a visionary leader and advocate in data science education and community building. As the executive director for the Carpentries, Dr. Jordan has played a pivotal role in shaping the landscape of data literacy and empowering individuals worldwide. Under her leadership, the Carpentries has experienced remarkable growth and global reach. Her strategic vision and unwavering dedication has expanded the organization's impact by establishing partnerships with academic institutions, government agencies, and industry leaders. Driven by commitment to equality and inclusion, she has championed initiatives to increase diversity within the data science community, ensuring that underrepresented groups have a voice and opportunity to thrive. I cannot believe she said yes when I asked her if she would come and keynote this, so please give a really, really warm welcome to Dr. Kari L. Jordan.
Thank you. She couldn't believe I said yes. Well, I bring you warm and sunny greetings from Central Florida. It's been really inspiring interacting with each and every one of you at our community booth this week. Thank you so much to the organizers. Thank you to the Python Software Foundation, who is making such a huge impact in not only this community, but around the world. Y'all, this is my first PyCon US. Yes, let me hold for your applause and so that you can see this intentionally curated outfit that I put together. Thank you so much. It's giving dandy. So, I'm a fully remote employee, so the fact that I didn't show up in pajamas is a miracle. Who am I talking to? All right, that's my section over here. But really, one would assume that being a remote employee, you don't have the opportunity to build community. It's impossible to build community if you work from home, if you work at a computer all day, right? And that's absolutely false. I'm actually a part of some super amazing communities. I'm a lifetime member of the National Society of Black Engineers. Okay. Our mission is to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. Now, I joined this community in 2001, and it's super important to me because seeing other people who look like me go through the engineering program, and even seeing other Black women PhDs struggle and pray and cry and defend a PhD, it gives you that self-efficacy, living vicariously through another person. So I want to give a huge shout out to this community because without it, I don't know if I would have made it through engineering. Another community that I absolutely love is the Zumba Instructor Network. And yes, I am a Zumba instructor. By the end of this keynote, you will probably dance, so don't you even think about leaving. It's happening. I joined this community in 2011, and I joined it because there was something about movement and music with Latin rhythms. Yes, please. But more than that, it was a community of individuals who inspired other people to just move their bodies. Just get up out of your chair. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. You can move your body and be a part of something bigger than yourself. So shout out to all the Zumba instructors and the Zumba Instructor Network. And finally, I am a proud member of the Carpentries community. Yes. And my pride, it's not an obligation because I'm executive director. It's not that. It's because we truly are the leading inclusive community teaching data and coding skills. I joined this community in 2016 when I became Deputy Director of Assessment for one of our lesson programs. And all these years later, I'm still here advocating for our mission. This community has taught me how to value collaboration, transparency, and growth. Having interacted with so many of you over the last couple of days, I think it's safe to say that the Python community is on my list of fave communities. So congrats, you did a good job. On the PyCon US website, it boasts of attracting a unique audience of Python users and community members, from beginners who are just learning the language, to leading developers, to organizers and contributors who are guiding the development of the language itself. So whether you're a beginner like me who's just getting into Python, you're a developer or a community organizer, I want to pose a question in hopes that we can explore it here together, and maybe you'll take it back with you. How can we ensure that the tools we build are rooted in justice, equity, and care? The world is full of other kinds of communities that are antithetical to the communities that I described earlier. There are communities that are not welcoming, they're not inclusive, they're not collaborative, and you may have been a part of some of these communities in the past, not now, never. There are communities who exclude the very people whose code you need to create for. There are communities that people don't have access to the travel funds that we had access to. They're not reaping the benefits that we're reaping because of the technologies that we're creating and the tools that you all are developing. And if you're in this room thinking to yourself, well, that's not really about me. That's not a problem that I need to address. I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. I want to be surrounded by and collaborate with Python communities who are doing good and not just doing tech for tech's sake, who are purpose-driven. I'm talking Black Python devs, Pi OpenSci, Pi Ladies, and Strudel. And look at the beautiful, beautiful photo of PyCon Namibia. Their first PyCon took place in 2015. And since then, Namibian programmers have been making a huge impact in their local communities. Look, we all gotta eat. We have to feed our families. We have to take the dog to the vet. We have to coach our kids' rugby game. All of those things are good. All of those things are useful, right? But who says that we can't make time for using Python for good? Who says that we can't explore how we can use this strong tool to make an impact in the world for human-centered work? I was not a part of the Carpentries back in 1998 when the first software carpentry workshop led by Greg Wilson and Brent Gorda took place. The workshop aimed to teach researchers skills to more effectively code and access and analyze their data. I could never tell this origin story as effectively as our co-founder, so let me play you a short clip explaining the human-centered reason why software carpentry exists.
What's my audio? So it started in self-defense. Brent and I were both programmers working with scientists, and I think some of you have heard the story about the physicist who was using functions in a 100,000 line file for version control because nobody had ever shown him that there were version control tools. We had people who were way smarter than we are spending days doing things that we could do with a shell script in 15 minutes. And in the mid-90s, I organized a couple of articles for one of the IEEE journals about what software engineers should teach computational scientists and other research scientists who didn't think of themselves as computational. And John Reinders at the Advanced Computing Lab at Los Alamos saw this and basically said, put up or shut up. I'll put a bunch of people in a room, you come down for a week, show me you can make a difference. So Brent and I gave that a try. The first workshop, if there was a mistake we could have made either in content or presentation, I don't know what it, and that we didn't, I don't know what it was. Like looking back on it, it was the wrong material taught the wrong way, but it still helped. It still made people aware that it didn't have to hurt this much, that there were things they could learn in an afternoon that would save them a couple hours a day for the rest of their careers. And if I can be permitted one other story, one of the things that made me decide to leave my position at the University of Toronto and put myself into this full time was that I was teaching some workshops to grad students at U of T while I was a professor in computer science. And I think a lot of you have gone through the lesson on the Unix shell, and we reached the point where we show people how to write loops to run a bunch of commands on files. And I showed that, and one of the women in the workshop began to cry. She was an ecologist, and as I found out later, for about 6 weeks, she'd been coming into the lab every single night, start a job on this machine to process this file, start a job on the next machine to process the next file, get all 6 machines going, sit there and knit for half an hour until the jobs were done, and then start off the next batch and the next batch, and then go home and come in the next night because she had 1,000 files to process. Nobody had shown her that she could automate this, but that's not why she was crying. She was in tears because from the remarks the two people sitting next to her were making, she realized that a couple of the other students in her lab knew full well what she was doing, knew that it could all be automated, and hadn't told her because they thought it was funny. And that's when I decided that we needed to put this power in the hands of everybody, not just the people who think of themselves as programmers, but everybody, if we wanted to get more science done.
We need to put this power in the hands of everybody, not just the people who think of themselves as programmers, but everybody, if we want to get more science done. That workshop and the subsequent funding that we received from the Python Software Foundation in 2004 really set the stage for who the Carpentries is as a nonprofit organization today. Since 2012, when we started recording this data, the Carpentries has supported over 4,600 workshops. We've trained 5,100 volunteer instructors to teach in 71 countries and impacted over 100,000 new programmers who had no idea what they were doing when they came into a workshop. Or maybe they thought they knew, but they quickly learned that they didn't. That's social impact. That is good. So if you are a Carpentries instructor, a trainer, a maintainer, a current or former staff member, or you've used our resources in any way, I want to say thank you, and I want you to make some noise. The Carpentries community is committed to collaborative lesson development as well. And we do this through 2 programs, our incubator and our lab. As I was digging through our curriculum development, I realized there's a lot of Python lessons that we need you all to contribute to, by the way, that can be used for social impact. So I dug around through our repository of community-curated Python lessons, and I want to share a little bit about those lessons and some of the ones that you may want to contribute to. So we have 2 avenues, the Carpentries Incubator, and this avenue is for collaborative lesson development from conception to a fully stable lesson. It gives you an opportunity to provide visibility to some of the lessons that you're working on. If you're beyond that and you're ready for others to peer review your lesson, we have what's called the Carpentries Lab. It's an opportunity for individuals to peer review your short format lessons. Oh my goodness, all of our lessons are Creative Commons, so there's like no excuse. All of our lessons are Creative Commons. You can copy them, you can redistribute them, remix them, transform them. Just give us credit, not me. The lesson developers, just give us credit. Many of these lessons, we need your support in order to maintain them. They need your help. So I'm going to shine a light on a few of these lessons in hopes that you'll check them out. The first incubator lesson that I want to shine a light on is frictionless data for agricultural research. Now, this lesson is designed to help researchers get more comfortable with the basics of using the frictionless data format. The lesson covers examples using data from real agricultural field experiments, and it covers things like metadata, data description, and how to work with data using frictionless Python tools. I like this lesson because by teaching better ways to manage and share research data, the lesson helps make science more transparent and more accessible. And that can lead to better farming practices, smarter farming practices, and more sustainable use of land and resources. The next lesson that I want to shine a light on is another incubator lesson called Intermediate Research Software Development. I love the word intermediate because how do you know what you know? Beginner, intermediate, advanced. I don't think I would be able to go through it. I'm still on the beginner stage, but for those of you who have, you've kind of mastered a few commands in Python, this might be a lesson for you. This lesson helps researchers level up their coding skills by teaching practical, intermediate software development practices in Python. You'll, with this lesson, learn how to write more clean code, more maintainable code, and manage your collaborative workshops more effectively. The last incubator lesson that I want to shine a light on is Python for Business. Now, who's still using spreadsheets? No, this is a safe space. Thank you. Tell the truth. This lesson helps, even though it's for business students, it's for anyone who's still using spreadsheets. This lesson helps students build practical data skills with Python as a more powerful alternative to using spreadsheets. It teaches to process tabular data in ways that are automated, repeatable, and testable. By moving beyond manual spreadsheets, you'll gain tools to make data-driven decisions more effectively and accurately, and that's always better for outcomes. Now, this is a Carpentries lab lesson that I want to shine a light on, and it's called Introduction to Deep Learning. So this might be one that you're interested in. This hands-on lesson is a beginner-friendly introduction to deep learning for researchers who already have some machine learning experience. By making deep learning more accessible, this lesson helps researchers apply this powerful tool to real-world problems, for climate to healthcare. And lastly, Python for atmosphere and ocean scientists. How many of you know that Python is quickly becoming the go-to language for data analysis in ocean and atmospheric sciences? Yes. Now, while many researchers teach themselves the basics, we can't do the DIY, y'all. We can't do the DIY. We can't do it yourself. You need something that'll give you a little bit more structure. So this lesson helps fill those gaps by teaching practical programming and data management skills like building a command line tool to visualize and to compare precipitation data in two climates. Being a member of the Carpentries community, it's shifted my perspective on teaching and learning. The dominant culture in teaching and learning is rigid. It's resistant to change. It's dismissive of new knowledge. It's dismissive of new skills and perspectives as well. Established theories They're treated as unchangeable truths, even when new evidence suggests otherwise. There's little room for critique or self-reflection, leading to someone like me running as far away from programming as humanly possible. Emerging approaches and ethics are seen as unnecessary disruptions rather than opportunities for progress. Some refuse to engage with interdisciplinary knowledge, dismissing it. It's a waste of time. That's the dominant culture's way. Criticism is seen as a threat rather than an opportunity to improve. And mistakes, mistakes are hidden or denied rather than embraced for professional growth. There's resistance to updating documentation and policies and practices, even when clear improvements are available. Open practices, reproducibility, transparency, all of these efforts are viewed as unnecessary burdens rather than essential for progress. This mindset has got to stop. It has to shift because it hinders progress and inclusivity. The Carpentries way is that we are always learning. We are responsive, we're curious, we're receptive to feedback, and we're eager to learn. I'm going to encourage each of you to adapt that sort of mindset as you're exploring ways to use Python for good. So I've said this a few times, Python for good, tech for good, but what exactly does that mean, especially in different domains? In education and equity, it means closing opportunity gaps, giving more people the tools and the access to shape and actually benefit from knowledge. In environmental sustainability, it means using technology not only to understand our planet, but to protect it. Whether that's modeling climate change or optimizing, it's about protecting our planet. In health and human services, it means improving the lives of all people through better decision-making, faster insight, and more inclusive, community-driven software. And in human rights and civic engagement, it means amplifying voices. It's not all about you. Shine a light on someone else. It's about increasing transparency and making systems more accountable and just. I think it's important for us to pause and ask, who decides what good even means? Whose values are being considered when we design a tool, a lesson, or build a data set? Is it the funder's values? Is it the developer's values? Is it the dominant culture's values? Who benefits from the tools that we're building? Are we unintentionally reinforcing systems of oppression? Or are we intentionally making space for new voices, new ideas, new leadership, and new ways of knowing? Good isn't a fixed destination. It's a moving conversation. And if we're not inviting the communities who would actually benefit from the type of technology that we're creating, if we're not inviting them into the conversation early and often, then we're not doing justice to the word. That's why my work at the Carpentries is so important, and I'm so grateful to do it. We have to focus on collaboration, consent, and context. Because tech, just for tech's sake, it's just not about the tools. It's not just about the tools that you're building. It's about trust, power, and whose futures we are building. If power is not in the hands of everybody, we're reinforcing systems of oppression and exclusion. So let me tell you about some of our Carpentries community members who I think are really doing the work. I get to work with the most amazing people. You have Oscar and Angelique. These are two of my staff members, and we snuck to Disneyland doing one of our staff retreats. You have Greg Wilson, co-founder of Software Carpentry, and also Tracy Till, co-founder of Data Carpentry. Many, many more people. There were people in the room who raised their hand who are a part of the Carpentries community. I'm so privileged to know you and to be a part of what you're doing. I want to shine a light on some individuals in our community who are making a difference with Python and encourage you to get involved with what they're doing. First, I'm going to start with Abraham. Abraham is a Carpentries instructor and associate professor. And this is what he shared with me. Because I didn't bring my glasses, so let me stay over here. Accurate cause-specific mortality is crucial for informed public health policies. Yet many regions do not collect death certificates comprehensively. The verbal autopsy is the most promising approach to fill this data gap and works by collecting detailed symptom and circumstance information through semi-structured interviews. However, the current process of collecting and analyzing this data is limited by burdensome data collection and physician availability. Smart VA Analyze is a software written in Python that uses an explainable AI algorithm to predict underlying cause of death results. Thanks to great help from the UW eScience Institute, he recently updated this app to use Python 3. It was like stuck in an outdated version of Python 2 code base for forever. There's still plenty of work to do, especially with recent developments in large language models. But let's shine a light on Abraham. Y'all make some noise for him. Next, we're going to meet Frederica. She's a Carpentries instructor who was inspired by and challenged with something that she just could not overcome. Many people in the Our Ladies community are curious about Python, but they feel a little bit overwhelmed for where to begin. Do we have any Our Ladies or Our users in the crowd? It's like, how do we see what they're doing over there? So she wanted to solve this problem. To address this, she's using and organizing a beginner-friendly Python course or a workshop for our users. And she's creating a positive and supportive learning environment for those who are working in R but want to kind of dip their toe in the Python world. In the short term, she sees this workshop as a chance for learners to get comfortable with Python and start applying it to their own work. In the long term, I think there may be a point where we don't have to choose sides, right? All right. I don't believe y'all. We don't have to choose sides. Y'all give it up. This is Amanda. Amanda is an educator and Carpentries instructor and a trainer. And Python has helped Amanda with her students in analyzing and visualizing open weather data. She's been with us for a really long time. Her students are thrilled to learn how to create and fine-tune their own maps and charts with relative ease thanks to Python's intuitive language and some of the third-party libraries. Students have gained confidence in Python, and they're using it as a tool to really tackle their computing problems. So y'all give it up for Amanda. And this is Sarah. Sarah is an instructor, a trainer, a maintainer in our community. She probably has a lot of other roles that I'm forgetting right now. But she's also a professor who's using Python for research and making machine learning systems more fair, with emphasis on helping developers make better choices. Sarah has taught Python workshops at the National Society of Black Engineers conferences for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years now. And we're super proud of the work that she's doing in the community. So give it up for Sarah. And last but not least, Mary Jane. Mary Jane. Mary Jane is an instructor and a maintainer in our community who is a data research engagement librarian. A lot of Mary Jane's work is super duper manual. It involves looking up people and publications in the Scopus bibliography database. Now, there are 2 very common requests: pulling bibliographies for research groups and then pulling together lists of journal titles. The typical size of a bibliography that Mary Jane works with is a list of 100 to 150 authors. That takes 6 to 8 hours. And then the journals, pulling together all of the candidate journals that she's looking for, it takes about 4 hours. That is super tedious, and it does not sound like any type of fun. But Mary Jane has created a tool using Python to automate both of these tasks, and now she's gotten it down to 30 minutes. She wants to turn it into a web app that her colleagues can use. But until then, we're going to give Mary Jane a shout out. Shout her out, y'all. Hopefully, these stories have told us that we're not merely building software. We're building a movement. Community, open access, and inclusion play a huge role in sustaining meaningful work. And I consider the Carpentries to be sort of a movement multiplier. As a capacity building organization, we support individuals to scale locally. Just look at the number of workshops over the past 5 years since I became executive director that we've taught that have included Python. You have 70 ecology workshops in Python, 9 image processing. We have 17 that were taught in Spanish. In total, 592 workshops taught over the last 5 years. That's 592 opportunities for novice learners to explore Python as their language of choice. Many of the powerful tools, they come from collaborative care. The tools that you create are coming from collaborative care, not merely just writing code. Initiatives are not just about code. It's not just about the technical learning. It's about building community, trust, and a shared commitment to open, inclusive coding practices. As I start to wind my talk down, I would be remiss not to issue a call to action. John, one of the organizers, he told me that he loves homework, so you all get some. You can thank him. A little Python with purpose, if you will. I want to leave you with a challenge and an invitation. Join a community like the Carpentries. Join a community, a place where you can not only share information, but where you know for a fact that information is not being gatekept, where collaboration replaces compartmentalization, and where people can come together across differences, backgrounds, borders. Teach what you know, especially to those who have been pushed to the margins of technology and science. You don't have to be an expert, just someone who is willing to share what they just learned. Contribute to projects that are grounded in social good. Whether it's environmental justice, public policy, health, civic technology, or education, your skills can fuel impact. Look for places where code meets community and lean in. And lastly, amplify each other's stories. What did I say earlier? It's not all about you. I mean, you good. I mean, you all right, but it's not all about you. Celebrate your peers. Uplift new roles. Make room for origin stories that aren't always told. Because representation is not symbolic, it's strategic. We all have a role to play in shaping a future where technology serves equity, not exclusion. So let's not wait for permission. Share those stories. Let's teach, let's build, let's share, and let's grow together. What does Python for Good mean to you? Do I have a brave soul who will shout it out? I don't mind awkward silence. Community, sharing. Collaboration. Open source. One more on this side. Equity. I love, yes. It's all of that and more, but it can't be that if you don't do your part. So I want to thank you for welcoming to my first PyCon US. I came for the keynote, but I'm leaving with family.